Hi, I'm Rick Lambert, and welcome to the Marketing Show. Cheryl and I, believe it or not, had a complaint on one of our social media posts. We thought, why not talk about it in this week's program, how to deal with complaints on social media. Now, Cheryl, I can't believe we had a complaint, but I know what happens to our customers. And what are your ideas, let's say, to deal with them?
Well, I think that we use this as an example and a really good show topic because it happens no matter what, no matter how great you are as a business owner, no matter how fantastic you are at posting social content or the agency that you have posting content, it happens. So I have, a few points, you have a few points, and you have some good stories as well. I think the first thing that I'm going to mention, and I think one of the most important things, is you can't react to what you don't know. So this is important because even if you have, a third party that's managing your social media content, you want to keep an eye on it. You want to make sure that every time somebody makes a comment or a suggestion or, responds to one of your posts. So just keep an eye on your content and make sure that you know what's happening on all your platforms.
Well, I know you and your team do an awesome job of what we would call monitoring the social media channels for our clients. So we know good and maybe not so good so we can react. And, I think sometimes negative comments can actually be a good thing, depending on how you handle them. And, before today's show, I was thinking about what we've seen through our customers, where the complaints come from, right? They come from customers, they come from disgruntled former employees trying to get back. Maybe they're competitors, or maybe they have something you refer to as a troll, which might be a phony account someone sets up to attack their competition. And I've seen companies do that, believe it or not. But I go to this old stat, Cheryl, that I think holds true today, that 99% of customers won't complain. Okay, so I go back to why I think a complaint can be a good thing to keep us real. And one time, just to prove my point to our team, I wore my dress shirt backwards to the team meeting. This was a physical session with the team, and what I was trying to denote to them was, sometimes even if you and or our customers see something wrong, they won't say anything. And so in that meeting, literally nobody said, "Hey Rick, you've got your shirt on backwards," believe it or not. And so that's why I think we need to celebrate sometimes why negative comments can actually be a good thing for us to understand anyway.
Yeah, for sure. And to your point that 90% of upset customers won't complain is why my second recommendation when it comes to handling negative social media posts is be quick to acknowledge. Be quick to acknowledge, because otherwise what happens is things can really snowball. So those 99% of people that wouldn't complain but may have had a negative experience will be more likely to react to somebody else's negative experience by commenting. And the next thing you know, you've got 10 people that have reacted to this negative comment on a social post. So now, being quick to acknowledge does not mean that you have to necessarily say sorry or apologize. Basically, a lot of people that will go to the extreme of making a comment on social means that they just want to have acknowledgement that they've been heard and that you understand that they've experienced something and that you've actually said, "I hear you, I understand that you're feeling this way, and we are going to respond accordingly."
So I think you're absolutely right, as usual. And as humans, we have this fight or flight DNA within us, right? I think our natural tendency is to fight. Although I can remember sometimes we would have family arguments and my parents would always say, "Look, let's keep that in the house. We don't bring that out in the lawn," right? But on social media, you're in the lawn, everybody's listening. And so I have two quick stories. One was a dentist, and there was a complaint about the dentist online, and somebody from this person's organization took a fight approach to it, okay? And it just snowballed. And all of a sudden, people started taking sides. This was on a Facebook channel. And it was just, in my opinion, absolutely the wrong way to handle this thing. I think what you want to do is, if there is an issue, get it off the front lawn and handle it personally. So when we had this complaint, I say that lightheartedly on a post, and I won't mention the specific post, but if you're following, you know. And someone's complained basically on the content in the post, and this is the thought process and the way we handle it, okay? The first thing I think you need to do, it's no different than objection, is say thank you for posting what you did, okay? I think it's a nice way to open up. The second thing I think you should do is apologize, and maybe not apologize that you've made a mistake, but apologize for their perception that somehow was created from the post. You understand? So it's a different from saying, "I'm sorry, this is a mistake." I apologize. Your intention of this post was something else, okay? The next thing I think you want to do is tell them, and this is absolutely not the perception that we hope others share from this post or from our social media environment here we're talking about, and then suggest to take it offline. Now, I personally, you mentioned earlier, go to email or phone. I think a live conversation is the best way to cool down someone's jets. You can feel their tone, it's personal, maybe it's a screen sharing episode. But when we responded in that manner to the one, I'm calling it a complaint on one of the posts recently, you know what happened was the person they went away. And what I thought was really kind of cool, Cheryl, was some of our customers stepped in and actually liked the way we responded, which I think says a lot about how other people see the way we handled it and how this person's complaint really was not that valid.
Those are really good points. And you handled, like, your comments to that particular post that you're referencing, which was on LinkedIn, was exactly what we would do with a customer, and of course exactly what we would do with ourselves. I'm going to tell a story, which is, you know, very off the cuff. I don't tell stories a lot, but I used to work in television, and I worked on a morning show, and we used to get all the haters that would make comments on our social posts. I don't like Cheryl's hair. I don't like the way she dressed today. I don't like this word that she used. Like, it was a daily thing. And so, you know, I always used to say to my producer at the time, kill them with kindness. So, you know, we would always respond with, I'm really sorry that you didn't like my hair, or you didn't feel that I handled that particular interview in the right way. I'd like to invite you down to the set and watch the show live with us one day. I'd really like to meet you. So it's that same idea of having that live conversation, but sort of engaging them. And a lot of times they just didn't respond, or they ignored, or they weren't interested, but at least you reached out. A couple points, you say apologize. I say, yeah, apologize if there's a reason to apologize. And I know you're saying apologize for the perception of the post. I say, you know, if you didn't do anything wrong, and others aren't having that same perception, I don't think you necessarily need to apologize. I think a lot of the time the person writing the comment doesn't really care about the actual complaint. They want to be heard. They want to know that the business sees their point of view. So as long as you acknowledge it, that's great. Take the conversation online. Don't feed into the trolls. So the trolls are the people that typically go online. They could be in disguise from a competitor. They could just be someone that's cranky and just wants to complain for the sake of complaining, or cause issues for the sake of causing issues. It's okay to say that those comments are inaccurate and unfair. But once it's said and you've given the audience the true picture of what it is, drop it and move on from there. And my last point is walk the walk. So if you're going to mention publicly on your social platform that you're going to make this situation right, you've said sorry, you've said call me, let's resolve the issue, then you need to actually resolve the issue. So walk the walk, do what you say you're going to do.
Well, I got to tell you, I watched you on TV for years, and I think your hair was always great, and what you said was perfect. Okay, now look, we're trying to keep you out of the penalty box behind me here in my video. Okay, folks. Look, I think the two key things is A, are you monitoring what people are saying, and number two, remember this argument's on the front lawn of your house. Everybody's watching. And, you know, we've received very positive feedback from our customers and the way we handle this one. And please, I'm not suggesting you test us on this, but we just see it happen all the time. If people aren't monitoring, what happens is this thing festers and grows. And, you know, there's an old saying that, you know, 40% of the customers that complain on social media want a response within 1 hour. So when someone does, I think you got to be reactive. It is social and it is media, and we got to watch our digital footprints are good ones.
It is true, and I would say that's why my first point right out of the gate in today's conversation was make sure that you know what's going on your business's social platform. Even if you've outsourced the content to another agency, look at it every day, make it part of your routine, and start your day to make sure that you're actually taking part in those conversations.
So Cheryl, I have no more complaints or comments on today's program, just so you know. But folks, stay out of the penalty box, watch what people are saying. Be sensitive. Thank you very much for sharing that complaint. We always like feedback. I apologize for your perception. Why don't you and I step out back and deal with this personally? You know what I'm saying here anyway. All right. Well, thank you, Cheryl. Looks like you're off location today.
I am. I'm actually at my parents in Ottawa visiting for the week. So it was nice. They got to experience the live audience format here behind me of the recording of this marketing show, which never happens. Usually I'm by myself. So, and don't forget, we always encourage comments, good or bad. We want to hear what you guys have to say about the show. We want to hear about what you have to say about the content. And if you have any suggestions, we're always open to that as well.
But we like the good ones better.
We do. We do. See you next week, everybody.